By the Montana Television Network. This is the 5:30 News on Q2, Montana's news leader.
Good evening and thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Jay Cohn.
And I'm Jeanelle Slade. A former Montana woman not only lived through the nightmare of Southwest Flight 1380 Tuesday, she played a key role in the horrific story. Holly Mackey was sitting next to the woman who died from injuries when one of the jet engines exploded, blowing out one of the plane's windows. Q2's Zoe Zandora spoke with Mackey, a former Miles City woman, and she joins us now with her story. Zoe.
That's right, Jay and Jeanelle. I spoke with Holly Mackey over Skype this morning. She was actually the one who tried to hold onto the victim and get her back into the plane. Jennifer Reardon died after she was partially sucked out of a window that was shattered from an engine explosion on the flight from New York to Dallas. Mackey was sitting in row 14 with Reardon. A little girl sat in between. 30 minutes into the flight, when the fasten your seatbelt sign usually turns off, instead, the pilot came over the intercom. Moments later, passengers heard a loud boom and oxygen masks dropped from above.
So I had clicked my seatbelt back on and I was going to get something out of my bag and then there was a big boom and we were all very confused for a second, but it was just at the same time that this boom and this cold air and this sucking sound. I mean, we were all just looking around. We didn't know what was going on to see what was going on, and that's when I saw Jennifer, and then of course quickly, you know, I had leaned over and I grabbed onto her belt loops and her waist and wrapped my arm around her waist and tried to pull, and the little girl next to me also tried to pull with me, and we tried to pull her back in, and we couldn't. We weren't strong enough, and all we could do was stay calm, because if we didn't, then there would be even more panic on the plane, and so in that moment we all just made some pretty tough decisions. It was really excellent teamwork between all of them to try to get Jennifer back in and safe and keep everybody else safe at the same time.
And she had mentioned she was really impressed with everyone, the passengers helping with the victim, the crew, and the pilot. Mackey said the pilot was incredible. After she landed the plane safely, she came back to see the passengers, giving them hugs, thanking them, and how everyone handled the situation.
All right. Thanks
Quite
so
the
much,
story.
Zoe.
Wow.
Well, this fatality is the first death on a domestic airline flight in the U.S. since 2009.
3 months after a Billings City employee admitted to stealing drug evidence from the police department, 3 Billings police officers are now being suspended for having sex with the woman on city property. Our partners at Last Best News confirmed the reports today with Billings Police Chief Rich St. John.
St. John calls the officer's decision to have sex with Rollin Strizich a, quote, really, really bad decision. Strizich was fired at the beginning of the year after admitting she stole hundreds of pills from evidence.
St. John did not identify the 3 officers today, but said 2 of them had sex with the woman while on duty, and all 3 incidents took place on city property. The chief said 1 sexual encounter happened in a police car, 2 others in the basement of City Hall.
Now, the officers face either 1 or 2 week suspensions without pay, but their commanders get to choose when they'll serve those suspensions. City attorneys plan to decide by Thursday whether to release the names of the officers. Montana smokers would have to shell out $2 more in taxes next year under a proposed ballot measure. Initiative 185 to increase tobacco taxes in Montana and extend Medicaid expansion approved today for signature gathering. Tobacco products and e-cigarette supplies would be taxed higher. Part of the money generated would fund the state share of Medicaid expansion, which provides health coverage for 94,000 low-income Montanans. Medicaid expansion in Montana is set to expire next year, but I-185 would extend that program. Supporters must collect more than 25,000 signatures by June 22nd to qualify it for the ballot.
Well, the company that owns Herburgers will soon go through a liquidation as part of its bankruptcy filing. Herburgers moved into the old Shields space at Rimrock Mall back in November of 2015. Just this week, Bonton Stores Incorporated announced that the Great American Group and Tiger Capital Group will acquire the company's assets. Herburgers also has stores in Great Falls, Havre, Butte, Kalispell, and Missoula. And we've received several reports that employees at the store in Great Falls were notified this Tuesday of the likely closure of that store. In a news release, Bonton's president and CEO, Bill Tracy, says he is disappointed after trying to find bidders to keep the stores operating. In his statement, Tracy says, quote, "We are committed to working constructively with the winning bidder to ensure an orderly wind down of operations that minimizes the impact on our associates, customers, vendors, and the communities we serve." And we also asked Rimrock Mall Marketing Director Darren Olson for his reaction, and he sent us this statement, quote, "We know that retail real estate is a constantly evolving entity, and we look at possible former anchor locations as a huge opportunity." Olson says he has not been told yet when the liquidation will happen, telling us that is up to the U.S. Bankruptcy Court.
He's just 24 hours away from his jail cell, and today Paul Jenkins begins a new life on the outside. A judge vacated his murder conviction after DNA identified another person as the killer. After 2 decades in prison today, he's enjoying family, freedom, and fried chicken. MTN's Jill Valley sat down to talk with him.
I never thought at one time I'd ever see this day.
64-year-old Paul Jenkins is spending his first 24 hours in 23 years a free man. He has more catching up to do than he knows.
I got grandkids I've never laid eyes on, so I'd like to see them.
It took 7 years from the time the Montana Innocence Project took the case to bring Paul to this day. In our emotional interview, he tells me he knew his family was there, outside the prison walls, waiting for him.
None of my family turned their back on me. All of them stayed with me all the way. I think that's what made me want to keep fighting. But everybody stuck with me all the way, and I was happy.
He has grandchildren to teach him about iPhones and Netflix, a lifetime to reconnect with his son and his daughter Crystal, who lost him when she was just 14 years old. That will take some time to process.
Yeah, it's just going to be hard. It's going to be a day-by-day thing now. So I just got the rest of my life to relive it and go on and make myself happy, I hope.
The DNA testing that freed him will no doubt be a player in other upcoming cases. And where prison time takes its toll, Paul knows this was worth the fight.
I don't give up, no matter what you do. Just don't give up, keep going.
In Missoula, Jill Valley, MTN News.
Thanks, Jill. Now, Paul walked out of the prison medical facility in Lewistown on his prosthetics. He says it was important to him to walk out on his own steam.
In Wyoming, the Park County School Board now becoming just the second school district in the Cowboy State to allow its teachers to carry guns in class. It was a vote of 4-2 last night that the board gave its final approval to the new policy. The policy sets specific guidelines and training requirements before teacher volunteers can carry a gun. Last year, the Wyoming legislature passed a new law that gives local school boards the power to decide whether or not they want to allow teachers to carry concealed weapons on school grounds. And under the policy approved last night, teachers would have to volunteer, already be in possession of a Wyoming concealed carry permit, and also would need to complete up to 18 hours of training before being cleared to be armed in class. School Board Chair Kelly Simone tells Q2 the board did a great job in vetting the new policy, but told me she realizes it'll take some time before they'll actually know how many teachers will choose to go through the process.
I think we're going to wait and see, who applies, how many apply, and we're going to have to proceed cautiously from there. It's the new idea in our district as far as implementing this. So I think we're going to proceed with caution and diligence, but we haven't set a quota.
Simone did tell me a survey of the district's 285 employees conducted last November indicated perhaps up to 36 staff members would be willing to volunteer to carry a weapon. And by the way, the only other school in Wyoming, the only district there to agree to arm some teachers, is in Evanston, Wyoming. They approved their policy last year.
Still to come on tonight's 5:30 News, warmth and sledding don't always go together, but a new project is trying to change that. We'll show you next.
And in sports tonight, demolition is underway on one of Montana's older sports venues. Right here in Billings, Scott will fill us in on what's next.
And coming up in weather, Governor Bullock declares a flooding state of emergency. We'll tell you where and why in a few more minutes.
You're watching MTN News with Jay Cohn and Jeanelle Slade. Storm Tracker weather with Bob McGuire and sports with Scott Green. This is the 530 News on Q2, Montana's news leader.